everybody! Welcome to Dark Souls. Now, I wanted to make this video specifically because I know that there are some people struggling with Dark Souls Remastered, and they just got the game, and I really wanted to help them out because they might not be completely aware of some tips and tricks to make life a whole lot easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through some very early game stuff in Dark Souls to help people out. I know normally this would be one of my Minecraft days, but with some of the projects that I've been working on in Minecraft, it's gotten really repetitive and really difficult for me to continue on that route. So I'm just taking a day off, doing Dark Souls tomorrow again, even though that's kind of my schedule, and I will be back putting out a Minecraft video once that's all settled and taken care of. So please don't be too upset with me. I really want to put this video out there to help somebody, so I'm just going to get down into it and we're going to do things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a new game and show you quite how easy this is. Blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't matter. Oop. So the first thing you do is you want to have the master key. Second thing you want to do is you want to be a bandit. You can get away with a knight, you can get away with the wanderer. Personally, I like the bandit the most because you get that strength right off the bat, and then you don't need as many levels in order to get it up to where it needs to be. But this is just going to get you there faster. And then physique doesn't matter, face doesn't matter, hair doesn't matter, color doesn't matter. We're just going to go with it, and we're going to hit accept and start this up. Now this isn't going to be a complete playthrough, this isn't going to be anything but trying to get some items early. So this is called the Gravelord Sword start. There are other starts to this game that are technically better, they are faster, they are stronger, they're harder to pull off. I realized the Gravelord Sword is probably the easiest mid to late game weapon. I should say late game weapon, because it is really strong, and very late game once you see what ends up happening with it. But the start of this is definitely just to run through everything we can and get to the strongest weapon that we can early and just make life easier for everybody. So let's just go with it, and I hope you guys enjoy. What we're doing right here is we're running straight through this. We don't want to fight this boss at all. There is a way to do it with just the butter knife. That's what the broken short sword is, or the broken long sword. I don't remember what it is. It's basically the sword hilt. Call it the butter knife because it is quite literally that useless. We're going to take off all the armor because the armor is actually going to get in the way more than help. And when we're off in that corner, we can pick up a shield and do anything we want, basically. And this is where we get rid of the we get rid of the hilt, and we can just come up and hide behind our shield, give this guy a nice smacking, and that is good to go. Don't get me wrong, there are going to be a couple places here where we have a high possibility, and I should say not just high possibility, there are some places where we're definitely going to die. But definite death actually is not a death sentence in the game. For those of you who haven't played this game, the idea is that you keep coming back until you eventually give up, because this game is hard. But what we're doing is we're just trying to make it as easy as possible. So this is a melee build. There are other things that we can do. Some of them are very tricky in order to pull off. I would say the easiest The easiest, if not one of the easiest, if not the easiest way to go about is sorcery. Magic is super good in this game. I like how he shot me in the shield and then still kind of does. All right. Literally, it's sticking out of my shield. Whatever. But what we're going to do is we're going to drop down on his head and just hit him with an attack as we're falling. That does a massive amount of damage. The butt slam. Owie. But at 200 souls, we really don't care if we die. There's absolutely no pressure with this boss. The only thing you don't want to do is stand up there for so long that he comes up and breaks that ledge. So you can pretty much get a half health hit just by falling down on top of him. You can actually, if you keep spamming the attack and hit it at the right times, you can actually get double damage out of your falling attack, and you can pretty much kill him in almost one hit. So that is one of the easier things to do, so we're not going to worry about that. And we're just going to continue on our way. That's kind of the first hurdle in the game, is just learning how to control things and learning how to read their tells. And what we're going to do is we're going to sit down really early up and we're going to level things up. So I usually like upping my strength. Really all we're doing is we're just wasting souls. Because most of these souls are going to go away in a very, very short amount of time. So we have our key that we have, which lets us run down to Quaelag's area first, which is a much later area in the game if you play it normally. That being said, the reason why we want to do this is so that we can pick up a bunch of souls that are sitting down on the ground, and will help us get to the levels that we need for what we're doing. We can also do a suicide run, which I did in my normal playthrough. So we're gonna do the suicide run first. The reason why I send that back up is because I'm not going to sit at any campfire or any bonfire while I'm down here. There's no point in it. It actually hurts what I'm doing. I'm going to run through this and get a Firekeeper soul. So if you don't know what a Firekeeper soul does, you can use it to increase the healing that your Estus Flask has. So it is a very, very useful item, and we're going to need as many of those as we possibly can. There's 2 of them fairly early on that you can get that basically just will carry you throughout the entire game. So there's this one out here, which, of course, as long as you run straight, you're good. And when you come back, you can easily die. Although that time we didn't. But if you die there and you lose 800 souls, 700 souls, it really doesn't matter. It's actually much better for you if you die this early on, because you lose far less. So there is absolutely no problem with dying right there. But if you make it out, you make it out, and then we don't have to worry about coming back down the elevator again. So that's another benefit. And that is all we needed. But trust me, these 700 souls that we have on us are going to be lost. There's no reason to actually ensure keeping them around, and we're going to pick up souls just like that in order to give us the biggest advantage that we can get. So the next thing we're going to do is go visit Quaelag, which is something that I also did in my regular playthrough. So we're going to run down through this way. Hopefully they just yell. Alright, he attacked, but we can just roll right past him. Again, I kind of want to do the shortcut, but I've got a feeling with the shortcut I'm going to die because it's been so long since I've done it. So instead of that, we're going to go down this way, and we're just going to take a nice little jaunt, falling down level and level again, which actually does very little damage and puts us in a relatively good place. And then we just fall down here. Now, the good thing is we have a ton of Estus, because we didn't actually take much damage at all. You can always drink Estus if you think you're going to be close to death or something. I really like that not being a problem. Owie. And that's okay. I usually don't go for that one first. You usually want to go in a clockwise manner. So that's my bad. Shouldn't have done it that way. But again, those souls mean absolutely nothing. Just picking up one of those souls down there is worth 2,000 souls. So it's actually more beneficial for me to go back down there and just ensure that those that I did lose that 800 in order to get 6,000. So losing souls means absolutely nothing this early in the game. And don't think that it's actually that big of a problem. Don't feel discouraged. Death is just a normal thing in this game. A lot of the time you can, like, I like to say the first time I went through this game, it felt pretty cheaty. Dying for weird reasons, weird things I couldn't see. But then again, I was looking in the wrong places. So if something like this happens, just feel free to jump on it, man. Like, keep running at it. And sometimes you just kind of, after you see whatever killed you's moves, then it's pretty easy just to continue onward and not actually dwell on it. But that being said, I still want these souls down here, so I'm gonna do this the right way as opposed to the wrong way, which I showed you just before. I don't actually remember what that item is, but I don't think it matters. There are a lot of items that I just consider clutter and I don't actually pay any attention to. But most of the stuff we're losing anyway, so again, it doesn't matter. Just kind of run through here. Take a couple rolls. You want this item in the corner here. Technically, besides killing the first boss, you don't need a weapon for any of this, which is a very good thing. Especially if you're not comfortable with dealing damage to things yet. You can kind of just bypass that. I just grabbed those because I'm here. There's not really a good reason for it. But that last, yeah, you can see that last soul would be right around here, and nothing has hit me so far. I've lost some health to the poison, but that's just one Estus, and I'm good to go. But I really don't want to sit at a bonfire at this point. And then here, I'll let him kill me. There we go. So now that we got all the souls that we need, what we're going to do is we're going to do some more suicide runs. Now, there's a reason why I call them suicide runs, because the odds of you dying are very, very, very high and are not problematic at all. So, what we're going to do is we're going to come down this way and we're going to go to the Catacombs. There's a couple things we can do here. We can pick up the Zweihander, we can pick up some extra souls, we can pick up... You know what, we might as well. We've got time here. So we got some extra souls. If we run down this way, we can pick up the Zweihander. After I pick up these souls. And that is the path we want to go down a little bit later. There are binoculars down there, but I haven't really found a good use for them, so I just don't even bother. And you can get the wing spear. None of these things are too problematic. And again, dying means absolutely nothing. The only thing that happened right there is I lost 900 souls, which is less than a level for most of the game. So it's not even that you want levels. Like, levels are completely pointless. They let you... To a point, I should put it that way. To a point, they're completely useless. What we're going to do is we're going to take this path right here. And we're going to make a couple really, really strange... some really strange leaps. So I want to take my shield out, and it really doesn't matter if I have a weapon. I'm just going to keep my weapon out because it's not hindering me at all. If you think that for some reason it's annoying, or you think you're going to fight things, just take it out of your inventory. It's not even a question. Literally, these things just need to... So there's a bonfire there. Don't sit at it. You're invincible while you interact with levers and stuff. And again, dying here means absolutely nothing, even though we made it out, so that's good. So we're going to take a drink because we want to be at full health. We're going to make a couple... We're going to make a couple interesting drops. So the first one's going to be right here. Oops. I missed it. You can see where I'm going. That's the first place I want to drop down. And again, it's the whole reason why souls really don't matter at this point. Death means absolutely nothing. But we're going to go down there again, and we want to make that drop. There are better ways to line it up. I really should show you the correct way to line that up. But in all honesty, because you have unlimited tries at it, there's no reason to learn the way to get it 100% of the time. The way to do it 100% of the time is lining up on the bridge and then rolling into that corner. And if you do that, it works 100% of the time. If you wanted it to work 100% of the time, it doesn't actually matter. Because once you get there, well, let's just say there is a reason to learn it that way, because this might take a couple tries for me to get the item I need. So I need to get a particular item. So if you come up here and you drop down here, and then just roll when you get down, it works every time. So that's the lineup with the bridge. You literally just line up with that corner and you go for it. So there are two things that we need to do in this area, which is the whole reason why I said we're probably not going to get this first try. But there's zero pressure to get it first try. So what we're going to do is we're going to run at him, at Mr. Demon Guy. And we're going to grab the Eye of Death over here. There's 3 of them. We need precisely 0. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump in this. Now, all we need to do is wait in here, and hopefully Mr. Demon Guy leaves us alone. If he leaves us alone, we're 100% in the clear, and we got everything that we needed. If he decides he wants to punch us in the face, we die, but we still have the Eyes of Death, so we can actually enter the coffin on the next run and not care. I'm tempted to exit the coffin and show you what happens when you die, but yeah, see right there? All of a sudden, the entering of the coffin gets us to another faction. All we have to do or Covenant. Covenant? I don't remember. Start a covenant with another faction. Something like that. So all of a sudden we are in the Tomb of the Giants. This is actually a very, very late game section. But the reason why we're here is to talk to one of the late game bosses, and we want to enter the Covenant. So as soon as we enter the Covenant, we can only enter the Covenant because we grab those eyes, and it gives us the Gravelord Sword, and that is exactly what we want. So if we run back, actually we don't even need to run back, all we got to do is go in here and use the Dark Sign, which kills us. It removes all the souls we have, which is 0, and we return back to the bonfire. So all of a sudden, we now have this, and we need 24 and 13. Okay. So what we can do is we can use items. And it gives us 9,000. Level up. 13 and 21. So 13 and 21 does mean that we should be able to two-hand this weapon. So insufficient strength to hold the weapon with one hand, but I can use both hands to wield it efficiently. So what I can do is I can just press Y, and then all of a sudden I'm two-handing the sword. And this sword does massive damage. It's a late game weapon. Upgradable with Demon Titanite, so you need to kill those headless demon looking things. But let me show you what the difference is here. So he's going to come around, and I dealt almost 300 damage. And he's going to come around, and almost 300 damage. Now, let's just change equipment. I'll show you the whole starting item here. So he's a little bit stronger. He's got a little bit more armor, but I mean, it's 300 damage as compared to 800. So it's really night and day. Anything else is kind of a bonus. I can show you the way to get the other... So you could go the way that I went to get those souls, to get the Chloranthy Ring, which also increases your stamina regeneration, or you can go that same way where... or you can go and get the Grass Crest Shield. So I'm actually tempted to go get the Grass Crest Shield and show you how to do that, but... that's essentially how you get the Gravelord Sword, and a late game weapon very early in the game. It's a little bit slow, but even though it is a little bit slow, it deals massive damage and is a great weapon if you're just starting out. If you wanted me to, I could actually go through and do some... This is how you get really ahead in this game really early. Now keep in mind, there are some bosses that are going to be hard. This game is still going to be hard. With this sword, it's still going to be difficult. However, it is much easier when you deal 300 damage as opposed to 80. And you can pretty much eliminate whoever you want. It's sometimes that easy. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If there are other things you want to see done in this game, or in Minecraft, or in literally anything, please let me know. I'm glad to have been able to show you off the Gravelord Sword. This might actually be a weapon I end up picking up in my normal playthrough, just to have it, really. I don't really need it, but it is definitely one of the more fun weapons, especially early in the game, where it deals massive amounts of damage. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, take it easy.
Hey!